Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dennis here, EDC for Fun. I just wanted to make a video about first aid. This is not a video about how to put together a first aid kit. This is not medical advice. This video was inspired by a conversation I just had at a family function with somebody who I just met. I noticed he had a ferro rod on his keychain. I said that was cool. We had a conversation. He was talking about how he likes to be prepared. That's also cool. But in talking to him, I asked him, what he has going on as far as first aid. And, I basically got a blank stare. Nothing. There was nothing going on for first aid. It's cool to be able to make fire. It's cool to have a pocket knife, a flashlight, or any number of different tools. But I mean, first aid is a real everyday need. And you don't need to be highly trained, although the more training you have, the better. And so this video is not necessarily about getting trained or, like I said, how to put together a kit or anything like that. This is just in general, like, what do you have? I hope you have something. I've got 3 kids, and between myself and them, we get cut up, we get bumps and bruises all the time. And it's just a very basic but essential need that we ought to have covered in some capacity. First up, this is a really good example. This is adventure medical kits. You can get these at Amazon, Walmart, pretty much anywhere. My wife keeps one of these in her car. Actually, we have one of these in both of our vehicles, and she's not highly trained in first aid or anything like that, but at least having this takes care of a lot of basic stuff that comes up every day. And I mean, you can go online and look up all the different things that they have. It's pretty basic, but again, it's better than nothing. I remember once I was out at a property that a client of mine owned. He couldn't get in, decided to break the window, and got all cut up, and I ended up having to patch him up. It just never occurred to him to even keep a Band-Aid with him. Now, he needed a little bit more than a Band-Aid, and I was able to get him cleaned up and patched up and everything. And from there, he was able to go do whatever he needed to go do. But in the moment when he was bleeding, he didn't know what to do. It's like, are you really going to call 911 for that? And when you really need them, God bless all our first responders and everything, but in the moment, you are the first responder, right? And everything else is secondary. And you pray that in emergency you get help quickly, but sometimes you're just not in that situation. Especially if you're out camping, you're in the woods or whatever, or for whatever reason, you just don't have access to that kind of stuff. And so having really basic stuff is just absolutely better than nothing. I showed in a vacation video I did a couple weeks ago, this little kit. This is when we're walking around the beach and whatnot, this is with me. I hope nothing ever happens, and this isn't going to be able to take care of anything major, but you know what, if we're walking down the beach and somebody steps on a shell or broken glass or something, this this is going to make a big difference. And seriously, are you just going to sit there bleeding or what? Like, having stuff like that, it just makes perfect sense. And it's not expensive. It takes just a little bit of time to put something together. And I definitely do recommend getting some training. But even without training, I mean, there's little things that you can do, kits and stuff that you can put together. There's lots of videos out there. Years ago, Nothing Fancy did a series of first aid kit level 1, level 2, etc. Those are super informative. There's tons of videos like that out there. Go check them out. Go learn something. And my friend with the ferro rod, that's cool that you got that. Now let's keep it going. I like that you like being prepared. Let's build on that. And here's another one that I keep this in my backpack, which I pretty much always have my backpack on me. This is Maxpedition pouch that's really good quality, and I stuffed it full of a bunch of first aid stuff. I mean, and here's like a really good example. I know it's hard to see through the mesh, so I guess I'll pull it out. But I've got these nosebleed stoppers. You know, my kids are on the wrestling team, and you know, they get bloody noses all the time. So hey, just shove one of those up in there. Am I seriously just going to stand around and just not be able to do anything? No. And you would be surprised how many people are in that position where it's like, oh geez, I don't know what to do. It's very, very basic. It's not rocket science. Okay. But I mean, kits like this, you can put together, you know, with minimal effort, minimal money. You've got the key thing is having something to stop bleeding. Most of the time, especially if you're a knife guy, okay, you like playing with sharp objects or using, you know, sharp objects on a regular basis. It's only a matter of time before you're going to get bit. You know, a lot of us, it happens, unfortunately, more than we like to admit. But, you know, having something to soak up that bleeding, or, you know, if your kids play sports, my kids play, like I said, wrestling, but also baseball. You know, somebody gets hit in the face with a baseball, break out one of these cold packs, pop it on there. You know, little things like that go a long way. You got tape for, you know, whether it's bandages or sprains or whatever. You can configure, you know, a kit to whatever your needs are. But the point is to have something. Or, you know, if you're somebody who's into firearms, right? Maybe you carry, or just at the range or whatever, like you need a tourniquet. Like if you have the ability to put holes in something, you need to be able to plug holes as well, right? You know, it should be common sense, and unfortunately it's not. And I just realized I'm kind of on a little bit of a rant, but you know, when he had the bear spray and the ferro rod, and he you know, was ready for the zombie apocalypse and everything. And yeah, that's cool and everything, but let's ground ourselves in reality a little bit more, because you know, people, you know, get hurt you know, every day. And you know, part of my everyday carry, regardless of where I'm at and what I'm doing, includes something to be able to patch myself or other people up. So yeah, sorry for the rant there, but I just wanted to share that. Like I said, I was inspired by that conversation, and I hope you guys, you know, can influence the people around you to, you know, step up their first aid game. You know, so that way, you know, we can all take better care of ourselves and each other, and you know, we can have fun out there. You know, it's this channel's called EDC for fun, but you know, if you get cut, you get hurt, you get, you know, you get messed up, that's no fun. Not being able to take care of yourself is not fun. And so, you know, this kind of stuff goes a long way. So I want to thank you guys for checking out the video. Really appreciate you taking the time. And yeah, thank you. God bless you. Have a good one.